Hey friends! Welcome to the Drug Prevention Power Hour, where we empower leaders in youth drug prevention. After creating a student-led movement hosting epic drug-free events across the nation, your host, Jake White, dedicated himself to making the prevention field more fun, impactful, and relevant for today's youth. So if you're in education, counseling, public health, prevention, or just a caring adult looking for strategies to protect your kids, we hope you subscribe and learn from every show. Coming to you from Jake White and his team at Vive 18, enjoy this episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour. I'm your host, Jake White, and today we're hanging out with a new friend, Reagan McDonald. And just to tell you a little bit about her, she is going into school as an incoming college freshman. She advocates for mental health and suicide prevention around the country and encourages students to take charge within their high schools and be the change they wish to see. And she's been doing prevention for 4 years now. And Reagan, when we just connected again at CADCA, you were also telling me you're excited to play basketball at your school and to continue making a difference. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I could tell. You're smiling, you're having a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. So Reagan, just to start off, can you give us, you'll have to practice your college intro, like where you're from, what you like to do, what you're studying. So give us the good old college intro.
All right. So I am from a little town in the middle of Kansas called Clay Center. I have two older brothers that my entire childhood just beat up on me when it came to sports. And so my goal is always to be better than them and beat them in one-on-one someday, which I can say I've done.
Yeah.
Because of that, I'm playing basketball next year in college, and I'm studying pre-physical therapy / chiropractics. And from there, I hope to become a physical therapist someday. I'm trying to get my bachelor's degree in 3 years, but my dream job is actually to work for CADCA full time. And so if I could do that, I definitely take that opportunity. But I'm really passionate about suicide prevention and mental health because I believe that if we're going to tackle substance use, then we need to look upstream at what's causing it. And at least in my high school, I've seen a lot of students who are abusing substances because they don't know how to cope with mental health issues. And being from a rural community, there's very limited access to resources. And so it's been my goal over the past 4 years to really help people get those services, but also to just reduce the stigma. So it's been a long time. That might be more than a college intro, but
That was even better. That was incredible. And I mean, you're speaking our language. This is great. We've got to look upstream. Prevention is not saying drugs are bad, don't do them. It's looking at the underlying causes of, hey, what are the problems we're trying to deal with, and how can we do that better? And I love to say, how can we build a life so amazing that you would never risk it by using a drug, right? That's what we want to build, a world like that. So take me back to your first year at high school. You said you've been doing prevention for 4 years. How did you first hear about prevention clubs or coalitions, and what is your involvement in that?
Okay, so it's actually kind of a funny story to me. I got involved my freshman year, and I had struggled with my own mental health problems through middle school. And so because of that, in the fall of my freshman year, our middle school counselor reached out to me, and he was like, hey, there's this group called Y-Link at your school, which stands for Youth Leaders in Kansas. And he was like, you'd be really good for it. You should give it a try, apply. I'm sure you'll get in. And I was like, no, that doesn't sound like fun at all. No, that's not happening. So I didn't do it. I went on with my whole freshman year, and at the end of the year, I saw the applications were open, flyers on the wall, and I walked by one and I was like, that'll look good on my college resumes. So I guess I'll sign up. It's it won't be much work. It'll be great. And so I signed up and I get in, and at my first meeting, they're like, okay, go around, say your name and why you wanted to join. And I was like, well, I'm Reagan McDonald, and I thought this would look good on college applications. And I was going to leave it there. I was like, I'm just gonna show up to a meeting once a month and it'll be fine. But about 2 weeks later, I was elected as president of the group, and I was sitting there next to a bunch of juniors and seniors going, what did I just get myself into? But actually, it has completely transformed my life in the best way possible. And it has been the biggest blessing because I've been able to impact people in ways that I never would have guessed just by sharing my own story and sharing what I've been through and what it means to me and why it's important. And so it's given me so many amazing people, like being able to meet you and Tomas a couple weeks ago, and just all the people I've met through traveling around the country and like being able to speak on it and just learn from some amazing people. And relationships are huge to me. I think that that's the greatest gift that we have, is just talking to one another. And so the number of people I've been able to meet has been remarkable. And I never would have had that if I hadn't accidentally joined this. So,
I love that so much. So first of all, you said no, and then
mhm.
you said, well, I guess because it's going to look good. And
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
were the president.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So 4 years of being the president and working on it every day after being like, I'll show up to a meeting 45 minutes once a month. That'll be light work. That's nothing. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. What I'm hearing, Reagan, so there's people listening to this right now that are in coalitions, and maybe they have a youth prevention club started, maybe they don't. Maybe they're new to
Hmm.
this prevention world and they literally just got hired for a coalition and they have no idea what's going on. And
Hmm.
part of the process is, hey, you have to get youth involved in prevention work,
Yeah.
right? If we want to do it correctly, that's definitely a
Hmm.
priority. So, what I want to pull from your story is maybe the opening line for a student. It's like it's okay to tell them, hey, maybe you should get involved because you get a free t-shirt, because you get food, because you get it's good on your college application. And look what it
Yeah.
could turn into, because what got you into it and then now what you've gotten out of it is
Yeah.
absolutely different. Like, yes, you've done a lot of things for your college resume, but you've
Hmm.
experienced your own transformation. And since I saw you at CADCA, and you're Miss CADCA, right? Like you're the MC at all the events and you're meeting everybody and making them feel welcome. And you're promoting a sense of belonging and inclusivity that's like you're doing the thing in the best way. So this is really cool. I'm so excited for the people that are listening to this. You had mentioned in part of your story that one of the biggest things for you is sharing your story, and
Hmm.
like, and I'm curious, is that a story of struggle and overcoming, or is it just a story of accepting who you are? What is a story, and would you mind sharing it with us?
I would love to share it. So I struggled all through middle school. I struggled a lot with self-harm, especially during COVID. And, when I finally got through that, I thought that was like the worst I was going to go through. And I was really just into like helping other people. And I remember the first time that I actually opened up about it. It was once I had gotten past it and I was clean from self-harm. I told one of my best friends and I was like, I'm really struggling with this. And she looked at me and she was like, but you're Reagan. Like, you don't, like that shouldn't have happened to you. And I was like, wow. And so, I worked on it for a couple years. And then my sophomore year of high school, I'm a big basketball player, obviously. And I tore my ACL in January. And my whole identity was in basketball. Like it's all I did, eat, sleep, breathe. And I tore it. And from there, like I just spiraled. It was horrific. I'm really lucky to still be here, honestly. I was really close to taking my own life. And from there, like, I almost gave up with prevention because I was like, how am I the poster child for this? Like this is what I'm going through on a day-to-day basis. And so I went through that summer and I got to go to CADCA that summer in Dallas, which I think I saw you there, but um, I never would have gone to CADCA if I hadn't been hurt because I would have been too worried about missing workouts and missing practice for a week. So I never would have
Wow.
even gone. And that week just completely like changed my life. That's when I heard about ENYAC, which is CACA's National Youth Action Council, which has given me the opportunity to meet so many people and really get my foot in the door. And so from there, everything just launched. And in the fall of my junior year of high school, I had this friend, and he and another friend of mine had really just like pulled me out of this dark patch. Like they didn't even know they were doing it, but we'd play Uno every morning before school, and it just completely transformed who I was and made me so much happier. And then in October, he ended up taking his own life. And so from there, I just kind of made it my mission that like I'm not going to let his life go as just a statistic, you know? He deserves more than that. And I wish I had been there for him. And so because of that, like I'm going to do whatever it takes to help that one person that needs it. Because you never know who's struggling, really. And I know how many people were there for me and got me out of that dark place. And I want to be that for someone else. And it's not about like how scared I am, because I hate public speaking so much, but I've kind of learned to put myself out there and be like the bubbly, outgoing person because it could help one person and one person's worth it. And it's not about me, it's about his memory and really making that worth something. So,
Wow. Reagan, this is incredible. I'm proud of you. Like
thank you.
you
Thank you.
you're such an example of what it's like to be like a mission-driven messenger. And I say that phrase. I'm
Mhm,
part of this group coaching with this
mhm.
guy. It's actually a couple, Rory and AJ Vaden. And
Okay.
their thing is like helping people build a brand that changes the world. And they call everyone mission-driven messengers. And I
Mhm,
see that with you. It's like you have a purpose and you have a mission, and it's not about us getting uncomfortable or what we do and
mhm,
don't want to do, but just using the gifts that we've been given
mhm.
to make a difference. And
Yeah, for sure.
dang, that's so
Yeah.
cool. And you're just you're your summer senior year going into your first year of college, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Um,
Thank you.
do you, so you're going to be doing basketball. That's a big
Mhm.
commitment in school.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll have time for prevention? Or is it just who
Yeah.
you are now? Or what do you think?
I mean, as you said, I miss Kadka, which is kind of like the highest compliment you could give me. So I really appreciate it.
Good.
Um, which that's always kind of been my goal. And so like to hear someone say that, I was like, wow, like maybe I did make it. But I definitely think I'm gonna stick with it. Like it's just become such a huge part of my life. And I think the biggest obstacle for me as I've graduated and I've gone into like I'm going to college now, like I kind of have to decide what I want to do with my life. And it's like I don't really know like what career I can make out of this. You know, like not all of us own 518. I wish I could, but like, I remember when I saw you in Great Bend for the Violent Conference a couple years back, just like watching that and being like, ugh, like that's what I would do, you know? Like that sort of thing, just like speaking and feeling like you're making a difference and helping other people. Like that's just a huge dream of mine. And so if I could get into that field, that would definitely be like my number one goal. Um, just because I am aging out of that like youth sort of certification. And so just like figuring out how to continue it, I think I'm gonna try to stay involved with Y-Link in Kansas and work for them as like an intern this year. But you know, it's the type of thing that it's not really a job for me, it's a passion. And so I don't really care if I'm busy and if like it's hard for me to fit it in, like I want to do it because it means everything to me. So
That's cool. Well, just keep up doing the good stuff you're doing, and who knows, maybe 518 offers you a job one day. You might not be able to help it. That's so cool. Okay, so you've mentioned a couple things so far. Our listeners probably know what CADCA is.
mhm,
If you don't, look it up, cadca.org. It's a big
mhm.
umbrella organization for prevention. And a lot of us meet there twice a year, and they have great resources. You also mentioned Y-Link, Youth Leaders
Mhm.
in Kansas,
Yes.
which I remember that conference that we came in and spoke and trained a little
Mhm.
bit with y'all. And I think I cooked y'all in some beanbag toss and stuff like that.
We played spike ball, but I remember I won. So
Spike. Oh, we did play spike ball.
we did.
Oh. I don't remember you winning though. I refuse to remember that. I don't think so.
You must have poor memory. But anyways,
How dare you? On my own show.
you brought me on here.
That's right. I knew what I was
You knew
getting
what you were getting yourself into.
into. That is awesome. I love that. Um, okay, so Y-Link, and then as far as your local, was Y-Link and CADCA your advocacy work, or was there a prevention club at your school? What did that look like?
So, um, through like our coalition in our town is called the Clay Counts Coalition. And they sponsor the youth coalition through the school, which is Y-Link. And we are not, the high school Y-Link chapter is not school affiliated. And so, because of that, we were solely funded through the Clay Counts Coalition. And then the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services issues a grant. That's a lot to memorize. To Y-Link chapters throughout the state. And so that's how we received our funding. But when I took over Y-Link my freshman year, um, it was very much like drug and alcohol prevention. And the kind of notion with it is what you said about like, don't do drugs or don't drink. Like it was very much like the reason I didn't want to join was I felt like it was very much like shaming. And no one wanted to like, you didn't want to listen to that because you just feel bad, you know? And
Right.
so when I took over, myself and my vice president, we decided we wanted to change it from more like substance abuse to very much mental health and like giving students what we called alternate activities, which is kind of like the parties that you threw in high school. I mean, college, sorry. And so we did mainly what we call fifth quarters, which is after basketball and football games. And I'm from a really small town, so there's nothing to do but drive around. And we would have literally, we had everything over those 3 years. We did inflatable obstacle courses, we had spike ball tournaments, we have an annual watermelon relay, which means you have to run a 4x4 relay with a watermelon instead of a baton. Um, Super popular, super popular.
That's
We've
amazing.
done like jousting. We've had literally everything. And our head of counseling services said that she's never seen a school event draw in so many different people. You know, we have homecoming dances, we have sporting events, we have plays, but like the fifth quarters are what brings everyone together. And it gives you something to do, but it's a safe alternative and it's something that we were really lacking before. And so, um, I feel like that has been the biggest way that as a community we've utilized our advocacy work. And I still very much care about substance abuse, but I definitely have shifted it to more mental health. And then our Clay Counts Coalition throughout our town is very much like substance abuse and how do we keep kids clean through high school.
Okay, that's ooh, I got excited all over again because yeah, those that fifth quarter sounds amazing. I'm imagining all the fun, the competition, like the
Hmm.
camaraderie. Oh, that is so good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, can you, those are so good. Watermelon relay. That
Yes, yes.
what are some other ones that people will probably just, I mean, spike ball tournament sounds amazing.
Yes.
Watermelon relay, super funny, amazing. Obstacle courses.
Mhm.
Were there any other that you could throw out there that people might be inspired by that you can remember? Maybe some of your other favorites?
We did jousting. Like we brought in this inflatable jousting ring and let everyone joust. Um, oh, we got our like auto repair shop to bring a crane and pull a tire up in the air. And then you had to kick a football through a tire. And if you did it, you got a gift card. We did
No
that on the football
way.
field one year. Yeah. We've had that, but we've also had pretty chill stuff. Like we did a pumpkin painting party around Halloween. Um, in February, we made like Valentine's cards to go to the nursing homes,
Oh, that's
and that was very successful. We have had pizza party. Oh, we do pancakes after home basketball games, like as people are leaving, and that's even more of like an outreach event because we just give them to everyone.
yeah.
And so we've done all of that. We have had flag football tournaments on the football field. We do a luau every year. And so we have like limbo and all that kind of stuff. We have all kinds of hot dogs at those. Really just like we focus a lot on like you got to have food and you have to have like something for people to do. And we always have music, things for kids to do. We rented out a old building downtown and they have like card games and a basketball goal and a pool table. We've had a casino night, which is not gambling related, but we have like just card games and a lot of camaraderie, and it's something that I'm very sad to leave behind for sure because they were so much fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, you could throw sober parties at your school and keep it going.
I could
There
definitely
you
something
go.
I've looked into.
You could. I'll help you out. Help you get some sponsors and
Okay,
stuff.
okay, sounds good.
Which, by the way, you're going to Wesleyan in
Yes,
Kansas, Kansas
yes,
Wesleyan. Is that what it's called?
yeah,
Okay, cool. So everyone, tune in the basketball
yes,
games. You'll
yes.
see Reagan. Uh, that's so exciting. And those are amazing ideas. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna throw one out there, Reagan, because my
Mhm.
wife Emily, did you meet her at the conference?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she was, before she started working with me for 518, she was a resident hall director. And
Okay.
so her and her student leaders would run the dorms or residence halls. And one of their events I thought was so funny. They bought an old car
Mhm.
from the junkyard, and then they bought baseball bats and spray paint. And it was
Uh-huh.
like a finals week de-stress event. And people got to take their turns smashing stuff and
Mhm.
painting things on it. It was incredible. Um,
Yeah, yeah, we do that. We
you
have a
did
car
that
smash
too?
every year. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
you, it sounds like when you mentioned the crane and stuff too, I was like, okay,
Hmm.
they're next level. Oh, that is so, so good. Okay. I would love to get some advice from you, Reagan. So
Okay.
if someone is listening and they want some help getting young people involved in prevention, what are some do's and don'ts from your experience, from your adult mentor or guide? Uh,
Okay.
if maybe you've had a good experience and you're like, hey, do this because our guides do this and it's incredible. Or, hey, maybe we've had an experience that wasn't so good. Stay away from doing this. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. My number one like don't that comes to mind is just like don't shame, you know? Like no one wants to be called out. It's a very uncomfortable thing, and I think it's more important to call people in and just make people feel welcome. Give them like open the door to everybody because you never know who's interested. You know, you can look out and be like, oh, these people are very popular, they're very involved, let's invite them. But there's a lot of kids that you wouldn't think of that could end up being huge resources to your coalition. And so I would definitely make sure to just open the door to everyone and be very transparent and welcoming to the entire student body because everyone can make a difference. And it takes a whole team of people to do that. And beyond that, my number one do is like, I guess it's a don't give up. Like, it took two different people for me to actually apply. And then it took like physically making me president and forcing me into this for me to get into it. Like I would not have gotten here on my own. And so I think that like if you see someone who has the potential, who has leadership qualities, or just that you think has a story to be shared, like give them that belief. At least for me, the biggest thing has always been, whether it's been in school or in sports or in prevention, like just believing in someone. When someone believes in me, I feel like I have the resources to do it. And like it's someone that I don't want to let down, And just giving someone that hope that they could be something great means the world to them. And you can never underestimate what, like, hey, I think you'd be good at this, or hey, why don't you give this a shot? Or these are all the things that could happen from it. Just like pushing someone out of their comfort zone because you see potential in them and not giving up on a kid. Like people could have given up on me, and there are so many things I never would have experienced in life, and so many people I wouldn't have met. And I'm just eternally grateful that my mentors pushed me and gave me that opportunity. And even in addition to that, our sponsor's motto is youth-led adult guided. So like during our meetings, she sits back and lets me run the whole thing. And then when we need help with something like, hey, is this even feasible? Like, can we bring in a crane and kick a football through a tire? Like, and she sits back and she goes, yeah, we could do that. Or no, you might want to dial that back a little bit. But she's just been incredible, and giving me a voice and amplifying that voice and taking me to CADCA in Dallas that first year and just giving me the opportunity to get my foot in the door. And she has been nothing but supportive. And actually, right after we talked at CADCA, I went to her and I was like, they asked me to be on their podcast. And she was just over the moon excited for me. She was like, I could see it all over your face. You're so excited. And just the relationship that she has built with me and the belief she has always had in me has been the biggest difference. That has been the difference maker in my life, is just someone believing in me and seeing my potential.
Wow. Okay, I want to pull. There's so much to pull from there, but you said student run, adult guided. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you had an advisor who would sit back and let you run the meetings.
Mhm.
Absolutely. How long was it when you became the president, was there a
Mhm.
time period where someone else was running meetings and training you until you got to that point? Or was it like, hey, I believe in you, you could do this, like you're gonna figure it out?
Yeah.
And was there a learning curve for that? How did that go?
So I became president in like May or April, and then we had summer break. So I had 1 month because we were going to meet in June. And I had that month to go back and forth with our advisor. Her name's Lori. I had that 1 month to go back and forth with her and figure out how I was going to do this. And I remember being in Hobby Lobby with my mom one day and like having a very casual conversation. And all of a sudden, Lori's calling, and I need to like turn on my professionalism and figure this out. And from there, like she really guided me. And I will say, those first couple months, like trying to plan meetings and trying to keep everything in line, I really struggled. Like, I was up every night until well past midnight trying to get everything done, trying to get everything organized. And like, I didn't know how to delegate. And she had to come to me and be like, Reagan, you can't do it all. You gotta give this to other people. You need to find like, oh, you need officers. Like, you can't just put it all on you. And so she definitely had to step in and like overrule me at times. And looking back, I learned how to delegate and it made my life a lot easier. But just like I was kind of just thrown into it. And she was always right by my side. And I always knew I could lean on her. And whenever I went to like plan a meeting, I would always reach out and be like, hey, what do you want us to talk about? But at the end of the day, it came down to, well, what do you think you need? How can I help you? How can I support you in this? And just that freedom to have a voice and to make my own difference really mattered to me.
That's cool. I think, wow, Lori sounds incredible, as like a
Mhm.
coach and mentor. And faith is a big part of my life. So when I look and learn from the example even of Jesus, like he didn't just
Mhm.
tell people what to do, he was modeling it, living with his disciples. They were with him. And I think that's a great mentorship relationship is it sounds like
Right.
Lori didn't just tell you what she needed and said like figure it out, as she was
Mhm.
figuring these things out with you, coaching you along the way,
Yeah.
and having tough conversations when it's like, hey, you're stretching yourself way too thin. Like, this isn't going to work
Yeah.
long term. We need
Yeah.
to find you some officers. And being that person that's consistent in your life, um, that is definitely something that even I, as a young professional, young is relative, Reagan. Don't comment on my age, okay? Uh, I'm not saying
That's
anything.
off limits. That's off limits.
Yeah. Like that's one of those things I think we learn in each role because we love it, we're passionate about it, and
Mhm.
then we get called to something even higher, a higher standard,
Yeah.
something like we have to step up our leadership, which
Mhm.
means making new disciples, mentoring others, and now she's modeled that with you, and now you can model
Mhm.
that with your officers, and that's how the group grows and now is continuing, even though you're going to college and you're going to miss it. Hopefully that Y-Link chapter at your school is going to thrive because you weren't doing it all yourself, you know? So that's big.
Right.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, I could talk to you forever. But we'll have to schedule another episode sometime. So let's
Okay.
end with this, Reagan. First, I just want to say, keep up the incredible work. I think that when you go to college, just like what happened in high school, I don't know what it is, but I feel like something's going to happen in college where you get to fulfill your dream, like this staying in prevention and speaking to people, being a good influence, helping people with their mental health and suicide prevention and substance use prevention. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're going to continue that really, really well, and it's going to provide opportunities.
Thank you.
And yeah, of course. And I'm a fan. I'm a super fan. So anything you need, you email, like whatever it is, we'll
Okay.
be a cheerleader in your corner, okay? And we'll be
Thank you so much.
logging onto the games too. Uh,
Perfect.
if you had, I like to end with some sort of either a helpful quote that you have find
Mhm.
helpful or you're passionate about, or just a last note of encouragement for our listeners. And then we'll leave them with a way to keep in touch.
Okay. So I have two quotes. Sorry. I
Yeah.
love that you brought like your faith into it because that's a huge part of it for me. And so, um, a thing that I kind of live by is God would never give you an opportunity if he didn't think you could handle it.
Mhm.
And so from there, just like every time something's placed in my lap and I have to make the decision of, do I really want to get up and talk in front of all those people and like put myself out there? Um, I just remember that. And I'm like, this is a huge opportunity and he wouldn't throw it my way if he thought I would stumble. He thinks I can do it. And so that's been a huge saving grace for me. And then beyond that, like my life's motto is I NAM, which stands for it's not about me, which just kind of serves as a reminder that like the work I'm doing, it is not about like me getting glory or all the pats on the back that I could get afterwards. Like, yes, it's great for you to say like I miss Kadka and like I'm the MC and everything. Like, yes, that's great. And it feels great, but I don't do it for that. I do it for my friend and I do it for all those people that feel like they're alone and just need that one person to be that mentor for them, give them that encouragement to keep going. And so it's not about me. It's about that one person that I can help.
Oh my gosh. I'm hiring you right now. It's done.
Perfect. I'll take
It's
it.
oh, Reagan, this was so awesome. I love who you are. Keep doing it. You're incredible. If people want to follow you, they can watch the Kansas Wesleyan basketball games.
Yes, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
it looks like you have an Instagram account, and then Kansas Y Link has an Instagram account
Yes, they
that
do.
we can put in the show notes. But if anybody wants to ask you questions about prevention, or a student out there is thinking, hey, I really want to talk to Reagan, what's the best way to reach out?
I would definitely say either my Instagram or I can put my email in if that helps. I would love to help out anybody. And just like what I would say is just reach out. Like I'm a nice person at least. So like I know it's really scary to like put your foot in the door and make that contact, but like just don't be scared because you never know where it could lead. So
Yeah, so good. Well, for everyone listening, this has been another episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour, and we will see you next Monday for another episode.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour podcast. If you love the show, make sure to leave a review and share what you've learned. And if you need help reducing substance use among youth by educating and engaging students in prevention, visit vive18.com for more information, tools, and resources.